Okay, are you able to see this? My Google is troubling me. Like, I don't think I can't see the image. Can you guys see the image?
No, dear.
No, right? Give me a minute, please. All right. We'll take a look at this later. I think we'll take a look at it from our own video only, the one that we have on YouTube. Okay, so essentially we've taken a look at how Tiger Hill looks and what are the protrusions that we are talking about, right, when we're reading through the chapter. All right, so essentially, just to wrap up a little bit, we have now captured a couple of areas, right? We are already on the top. So the top has been figured out, right? We've reached the top. Now all we have to do is we need to connect the top with the rest of the hill. All right, because it's a comparatively bigger hill, it's a bigger task as well to connect us. That route is a more difficult one to capture, right? Because for the top, we went from a place wherein the enemy was not expecting us.
Didi.
Right? Yeah. Yes, Sejal.
Didi, your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. Is it breaking for everyone?
No, dear.
No? Right. Sejal, can you hear me better now?
Yes, Didi.
Okay. If it still keeps breaking for you, then you can try switching off your camera, okay? That sometimes helps. Could be because of poor network. All right. So we saw that we have captured the top and now we're trying to capture the entire path. So what is happening is we are on the top, but for the rest of the hill, there are still supplies that are going to the people who are already there, okay? But our soldiers are not getting any supplies as such. Why? Because we were not well established there. We went there and we attacked, right? And now the element of surprise is not there. What is the element of surprise? We surprised them in the sense that we went very late in the night, or in fact early morning, around 4, so you can call it early morning also, right? So nobody's expecting you to attack you around that time, right? But now that they know that we are attacking them, they will be launching counter attacks. Okay, now we're going to read about what we did to those counter attacks and how we battled them. Okay, so that's what we're going to read for you. Who wants to read today? Yes, please go ahead, Muskan. We're going to start with this paragraph here.
Despite heavy constituencies, at 6 exploited its success up to Helmet and captured his objective on 5th July. The enemy launches 2 counterattacks.
Muskan, love, where are you reading?
Page number 57.
Oh no, we'll be reading the last paragraph of 56.
I think we read it.
Yeah, we read it. We'll just go through it one last time and then we'll move on.
Okay. The western spur of Tiger Hill extended up to 1.5 kilometers and approach to the spur where its peak was developed by a lay along a steep rock face and ad hoc a column of its peak led by Major Ravindra Singh and Lieutenant R.K. Sehrawat, comprising 4 JCOs and 52 soldiers, climbed this rock face under poor visibility conditions and was able to capture India Gate after a taut fight. This is Battle Subedar Nirmal Singh led the Isolate Platoon. He was included in hand-to-hand fighting till the end and was also responsible for beating back a counter-attack.
Perfect.
Counter-attack.
Yes, counter attack. So as I told you guys, now we are going to go on towards the other spur. So this is the western spur, okay? The Western Spur is something that we're aiming for a little bit later because the Western Spur is an easier one. What's an easier area? In any mountain, the easier one is which is slightly the lesser slope because it's easier to climb. Okay. So we've already approached from the northern spur and the southern spur. Now we are going from and the eastern spur. But now we are going in with the western spur, okay, which was a comparatively easier climb. See, that is why it extends up to 1.5 kilometers. Like the hill, this area is around 1.5 kilometers, okay? And now we are going ahead, right? So 8 Sikh is one of the units, okay? Army has various units. So the soldiers, like I told you, like we have classes, in school. Similarly, we have various units, okay? So 8 Sikh is one such unit. All right. So 8 Sikh was deployed there. They were deployed in the sense उनको वहां पे रखा गया था. They were like, you are in charge of this particular area, okay? So 8 Sikh was deployed there. And ad hoc column, we discussed what ad hoc means. Ad hoc means it's something which is made for a particular purpose, okay? Something that was created to do a particular task, okay? So let's say we have an emergency meeting. So I will make an ad hoc team of 2 people who will be able to carry out that particular meeting for me, all right? So that's an ad hoc team. So they came up with an ad hoc column of 8 Sikh. So they took out certain specific people that they knew would be able to fight really well or would be able to, combat whatever was going on. So that was led by Major Ravindra Singh. Okay, we are just reading these names once, right? But these people are very, very, famous people in the Indian Army because they fought this really, amazing battle, right? So there's Major Ravindra Singh and all right. So it is Major Ravindra Singh and Lieutenant R.K. Sharawat. Okay, comprising of 4 JCOs. JCOs are slightly junior, 2 officers, okay, and 52 soldiers. Okay, you know how we say Sipahi? That's a soldier. Okay. So 52 soldiers, they climbed the rock face under poor visibility conditions. Even though this is an easier climb, even more so because it's an easier climb, we need to go in place, like in situations where we're not very clearly visible. Okay, because if, for example, imagine this. It's a small hill, you can look at the road in front of you, right? You can see people coming towards you. And if I'm somebody who's a person who's sitting there to attack people, then I'll obviously have my guns pointed towards that area, right? So I can't just walk. That's walking into death. So they were now going in poor visibility conditions, which means थोड़ा fog था. Have you guys ever seen fog in Mumbai? We call it kohra in Hindi. Early morning or towards the evening, especially in the winters, you can't see very clearly, right? Because of the smoke or the fog. Yeah. So there was, yeah. So that, yes. Yes. So these are the poor visibility conditions that they're talking about. Okay. And they were able to capture India Gate after a tough fight. I know this looks like toe, but it's pronounced as tough. How we say this is very tough. This is how we spell it. Okay. A tough fight. So in this battle, Subedar Nirmal Singh led the assault platoon. Assault, I told you, everywhere assault means attack, okay? Assault platoon is basically a group of people who are going to carry out that particular attack, okay? He was engaged in hand-to-hand fighting. So all these people who are fighting, most of them would be fighting through guns because they're not close enough to fight hand-to-hand, right? You need to be really close to a person to, let's say, punch them or slap them. All of that is hand-to-hand fighting. Okay, till the end, and was also responsible for beating a counterattack. It says till the end is because he attained martyrdom during this. So he died while he was fighting. Okay, so Subedar Nirmal, he led this particular attack and he was also responsible for beating a counterattack. Why? Because he was one of the first people who was reaching there, right? So he fought with these people and he was able to defeat a couple of them so that they weren't able to attack a lot of other people who were also approaching. Okay? All right. Who wants to read next? Yes, Diksha, go ahead.
Despite heavy Despite heavy
Casual.
casualties, 8 Sikh exploited its success up to helmet and captured this objective on 5 July.
Go
The
ahead.
enemy,
Yeah, go ahead.
the enemy launched two counter-attacks with 40 to 50 personnel, but 8 Sikh fought gallantly and was able to repulse them. Naib Subedar Karnel Singh and Rifleman Satpal Singh, who were part of a platoon deployed on the reverse slope of Helmet, show exceptional courage. In one of these counterattacks, Captain Colonel Sher Khan of the Pakistan Army was killed. His body was subsequently handed over to the Pakistani authorities. Other bodies of the Pakistani soldiers found scattered around the battleground were collected and buried appor- ap- appropriately. Sorry.
Perfect. So now we're going to read a little bit about what happens once we have fought and defeated, right? So now, despite heavy casualties, what does casualties mean? What is a battle casualty? Casualty means death here, okay? So despite heavy casualty means a lot of people died. A lot of people from our side also died. A lot of people from the other side also died. Okay. 8 Sikh exploited its success up to helmet and captured this objective on 5th July. Okay. As I told you, this is brilliant report writing. So he's constantly writing down the dates, when what happened, how, in what sequence did what happen. Okay, so now they have from India Gate, now they've finally fought really hard, had a lot of deaths, and now they've finally captured Helmet, which was the only thing that was pending in our train of things that we wanted to capture. Okay. And this was captured on 5th July. So now we finally have the entire Tiger Hill area with us. Okay. While this was happening, the enemy launched two counterattacks with 40 to 50 personnel. Okay. So as we had read earlier, around 52 people from soldiers from our end and two officers and four JCOs went, right? So we were more people. They had launched around 40 to 50 personnel. But 8 Sikh fought gallantly. What does gallantly mean? Have you ever heard this word before? Gallantly. Mm-hmm. Gallantly means in Hindi, it can be a combination of nidar and bahut hi brave. Okay. So they fought very gallantly. There's a gallantry award also. That's a different thing. But they fought very gallantly. They fought gallantly and was able to repulse them. What does repulse mean? Attract ka opposite hota hai repulse. Okay? You attract something, you can repel something also. You can repel something. Okay? Attraction and repulsion. You do it in science also. So the same poles, they repel each other. Have you read that? Opposite poles attract, the same poles repel each other. So if you have south and south together, it will repel. Right? Muskan is nodding. She's been taught this. It's a basic physics rule. Okay, so this word comes from there. Attraction ka opposite repulsion. So you can use it in your daily life also. I'm very repulsed by that person. That means I don't like that person at all. Okay, or let's say I'm very repulsed by bullying as a practice. What is bullying? It's a very bad practice, of course. What people do is they unnecessarily trouble other people, right? So you can say I'm very repulsed by bullying. So you don't like it, and you don't like it happening. In this case, they're saying they were able to repulse them. That means they were able to fight back, defeat them, put them away. Okay, all right. Unko bhaga paye. That's exactly what he's trying to say here. Okay. Naib Subedar Karnail Singh and Rifleman Satpal. So Karnail Singh and Satpal Singh are two people. Unse pehle, whatever is written is their rank. Okay. So whenever you're addressing somebody from the army, you don't just say their name, you say their rank. Okay, so let's say if Muskan was a soldier or an officer in the Indian Armed Forces, so she would not be just Muskan, she'll be Captain Muskan or Major Muskan or Lieutenant Muskan. Okay, so here there is Nayab Subedar Karnail Singh and Rifleman Satpal, who were a part of a platoon deployed on the reverse slope of helmet. Okay. Reverse means the opposite side. दोनों ओर से slope होगा, ऐसे तो चारों ओर से होगा ना. So the reverse side, the opposite to what we were approaching from, showed exceptional courage. Okay, guys, you should remember this. There were a lot of people, as we read, around 60 people who were doing this particular assault, and there were a lot of other people who were involved, constantly fighting. If he's mentioning names here, that means these people either had great leadership roles, okay, and they did well in that, or they were people who showed exceptional courage. They didn't worry about their lives or their safety. Okay, all of these people obviously did an amazing job. That's why they could get it back, right? But some people stepped out of their way. They didn't care about their lives. They fought a lot, right? And that's why their names have been mentioned. Okay, so they showed exceptional courage. In one of these counterattacks, Captain Karnail Singh, Colonel Sher Khan of the Pakistan Army was killed. So a lot of the soldiers of the Pakistan Army were here, of course, and these were the same soldiers who were attacking us. So Captain Colonel Khan was, I think, one of the senior ones, hence his name is mentioned here. He was killed and his body was subsequently handed over to the Pakistani authorities. Other bodies of Pakistani soldiers found scattered around the battleground were collected and buried appropriately. This point is slightly important. It's important because there's a treaty, a peace treaty. Correct. What's a treaty? Ek samjhauta. Okay, there's a peace treaty that says that if there is a battle going on, you don't, once that person has died, you don't dishonor their dead body. Okay, so let's say whatever bodies we could identify, they were handed back to Pakistan, and the ones that we couldn't, they were burnt appropriately because that is what they do in their religion. Okay. All right. Who wants to read forward? Let's see. Dildar, I've not heard you read in a long time. Would you want to read this part?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. In New Delhi, I had remained anxious.
Anxious.
Anxious all through the night of 3 July. The next morning, Krishna Pal, GOC 15 cops range up at 600 hours to inform me that 18 Grenadier had captured Tiger Hilltop, and also that heavy fighting was going on. After consulting him and Nirmal Chandar Vij, we decided to await confirmation from the GOC 8 Mountain Division at 730 hours. Mohinder Puri confirmed to me that he enemy would not be able to dislodge 18 grenadiers from Tiger Hilltop. I duly informed Brijesh Mishra and the Prime Minister, who was scheduled to address a public meeting in Haryana at 1000 hours. The Defense Minister was on his way to Amritsar. When he landed at the airport, I gave him this executing news.
Very well read, Dildar. So now he's telling us now he's already told us what happened in the battlefield, okay? Now we had read up till what was happening up till 5th of July. Now he's telling us how he was feeling. So this is a very senior officer. He was the chief of army staff. There's only one chief of army staff, okay, for the entire Indian Armed Forces at one given time, okay? And he directly reports to the president and the prime minister. In our country, it's prime minister because he has the most power, all right? So he's the one who will give the main orders and he's the one who will report to everybody else politically. So in New Delhi, he had remained anxious. Anxious rehna kya hota hai? Means you're feeling uncomfortable, okay? In Hindi or in Mumbaikar language, it's like because aise dhak dhak ho raha hai, we say aise dhak dhak ho raha. That is anxious, okay? That's feeling anxious, okay? So he remained anxious all through the night of 3rd July. That was when we were doing the main attack, okay? We were going to attack the top of Tiger Hill. So next morning, Krishan Pal, GOC's general officer in command. He's one of the most senior officers of that brigade, okay? So GOC of 15 corps rang up at 600 hours to inform me that 18 grenadiers had captured Tiger Hill top, okay? And also that heavy fighting was going on, okay? After consulting him and Nirmal Chandar Vij, we decided to await confirmation from the GOC of 8 Mountain Division, okay? Now, 8 Mountain Division, as we've read before, this was the division, this was the brigade that was employed here, okay? So that general officer in command will then report, okay? At 7:30 hours, Mohinder Puri confirmed to me that the enemy would not be able to dislodge 18 grenadiers from the Tiger Hill top. What does dislodge means? वो जगह को खाली कराना, okay? Lodge is to stay somewhere, okay? So he's lodging in the hotel near India Gate right now. That means he's staying there temporarily, okay? Dislodge means to remove, okay? Nikalna unse khali karana. So they will not be able to dislodge 18 grenadiers from the top. I duly informed Brajesh Mishra and the Prime Minister. For Brajesh Mishra, they've given us a small write-up. Well, who was he? He was an Indian diplomat and politician who was Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's principal secretary and national security advisor. Okay, so there are a lot of these people, very important people, who take part in these decisions. Okay, because this is a democracy, one person does not take a decision. Okay, the decisions often taken at the vote and consultation of a lot of different, very important people. So he was one of those important people. Okay, who was informed. So Brajesh Mishra and the Prime Minister were informed. And all of these people, all these important people, they were addressing various gatherings. Because if there is an enemy body that has infiltrated the borders, infiltrated means हमारे borders से अंदर आ गए हैं, and they're attacking people. So obviously the nation would be very scared, right? All of us, if tomorrow something happens at the borders, we hear about it, everybody's scared, right? So the Prime Minister addresses a few gatherings. Sometimes we watch it on the news, some people attend it. So that was what is happening around this time also. So he was going to address a public meeting in Haryana so we won't call it 1,000 hours, we'll call it 1,000 hours, okay? 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, okay? 1,000 hours, and the defense minister was on his way to Amritsar, where he would ideally be addressing another gathering. Okay, when he landed at the airport, I gave him this exciting news. All right, that now we are finally out in the clear. All right, second last paragraph. Who wants to read? So we'll have Sejal for this, and then for the last paragraph, we'll have Ricky. Okay, Sejal, go ahead.
The date 4 July 1999 was important for one more reason. Nawaz Sharif was due to meet the US President Bill Clinton later in the day. About 10 to 15 hours before their meeting, we made sure that the whole world come to know about the recapture of Tiger Hill and thus the likely outcome of the war. The second paragraph also.
No, first I'll explain this one, okay? Just give me a minute. Very well read, Sejal. So the date is 4th of July, 1999. Okay, it was an important one. Nawaz Sharif, who's Nawaz Sharif? I was just confirming who he is. So he's the foreign minister. He was the foreign minister of Pakistan at that time. Okay, and he was going to meet the US President Bill Clinton later that day. All right. So basically, there was communication from both our countries. So if there's a problem that's going on between India and Pakistan, both India and Pakistan have a perspective towards it, right? If let's say two people fight, let's say Diksha has a fight with Sejal. So I'll ask for both of their perspectives. Diksha will tell me, no, she did this, Didi. And then Sejal will tell me, no, she did this, Didi. So that was what was happening. Pakistan was giving their side, India was giving their side. Okay. So about 10 to 15 hours before their meeting, we made sure that the whole world came to know about the recapture of Tiger Hill and thus the likely outcome of the war. Okay, so we announced it as a war. We were attacked and then we fought back. So it was kind of like a war, the Kargil war, right? We announced the outcome of the war because Tiger Hill was a very important position. So let's say we've defeated them there, then we have essentially won the said war that was happening. Okay, so that's what they were announcing. They were very proud and happy to say that we finally won the war. All right, I think, wait a second. I think we have one large paragraph. So Sejal, you can finish this paragraph off and then I'll have I'll have Rinki read the last one. Go ahead, Sejal.
Okay. For some time, Pakistan even denied
Yes.
the existence of such mountain feature and labeled the entire operation as a figment of our imagination. The loss of Tiger Hill was a hard physical and biological blow in India, where to
Jubilation
and reply replaced the gloomy mood of the people.
Well done. So for some time, Pakistan even denied the existence of such mountain feature. So they were trying to deny now that they had lost. They were like, "No, I was not fighting at all." Let's say you have an argument with someone and you are proven wrong, right? You're like, no, I was not saying this. I was saying what you were saying, whatever the right thing was. Something like that. Okay. And label the entire operation as a figment of our imagination. This is a very good phrase, figment of someone's imagination. Okay. Figment means कोई part, a small part of your imagination. Imagination means आपके ख्याल, ये ऐसी असली की बात नहीं है. This is something that you've thought. Okay, it doesn't exist in reality. That's a figment of someone's imagination. Okay. The loss of Tiger Hill. Now this is important. The loss of Tiger Hill was a hard physical and psychological blow. On what? On our entire country. Okay, physically, because it was damaging so many things. We couldn't transport, like we couldn't move on one of the roads, right, which was a very important highway. We couldn't use that highway anymore. Psychological, because a lot of people were very scared, right? If an enemy body has come into my country, is attacking people, so many people died, right? So obviously it was a very hard physical as well as psychological blow. Now, once we had already, now that we have captured it, now that we have recaptured it, there was a wave of jubilation. Jubilation means khushi ki leher. Indirectly, if I translate it into Hindi, this to Hindi, ek khushi ki leher daudti. That's, you know how we say it in Hindi? That is a wave of jubilation. Okay? How we say khushi ki leher in Hindi, we'll say wave of jubilation in English. Okay? Basically, people were happier, they were relieved. You know, relief replaced the gloomy mood of the people. Gloomy means very sad and very, you don't know what to say, you don't want to talk to people. Very sad and gloomy. That was replaced with relief. Okay. Imagine if COVID got cured tomorrow. That wave of happiness is what he's talking about. Okay. All right. Last paragraph. Go ahead, Rinki.
On 8 July, after the entire Tiger Hill objective had been cleared and the situation stabilized, 18 what is this?
Grenadiers
hosted the Indian tricolor on Tiger Hilltop. Throughout its tenure in the nearly 2-month-long war, the battalion acquitted itself with high professionalism and honor. displaying unshakable determination and collective valor. All its members covered themselves with glory and notched up two of the finest victories for the Indian Army after the war, as the battalion requested a UN mission. Army headquarters sent it to Sierra Leone, West Africa. There too, the battalion successfully carried out a major rescue operation.
Perfect. Very, very well done, Rinki. I think you did a great job with all the pronunciation and everything. So now he's concluding the topic for us, okay? On 8th July, after the entire Tiger Hill objective had been cleared and the situation stabilized, 18 grenadiers hoisted. What does it mean to hoist a flag? Pole ke saath you put the flag and you hoist the flag, okay? So basically they hoisted the tricolor, they hoisted the Indian tricolor on Tiger Hill. Tricolor, so another name for our flag is tricolor. Why so? Because we have three main colors in our flag, right? Saffron, white, and green. Okay? On the Tiger Hill top. Throughout its tenure. Tenure means kahin pe bhi, so when you are staying somewhere, when you're working somewhere, that particular period, okay? It is political and government officials have tenures, okay? So let's say if your parents are in a transferable job, they get posted, they have certain tenures that they need to do. So sometimes they get placed in one place for 2 years, 3 years, that's their tenure, okay? Throughout its tenure, in the nearly 2-month-long war, the battalion, what's a battalion? That particular unit, battalion is another name for the unit, okay? The battalion acquitted itself with high professionalism. Acquitted means unhone aisa kiya, unhone darshaya. They acquitted itself with high professionalism and honor, displaying unshakable determination and collective valor, okay? All its members covered themselves with glory and notched up 2 of the finest victories for the Indian Army. To notch something is to achieve something, okay? Notch is actually, it comes from belts, okay? It's a very fun word, I'll explain the meaning too. You know how we have belts, mein se hook hote hain, like small hooks, like small holes in the belt. You put this thing while you're wearing a normal belt, like a normal leather belt, okay? Are you getting this, Muskan? Because you look like you're not. You know how we have a normal buckle wala belt? Usme chote holes hote hain na, jisme we put that thing and how we put the belt on, yeah? Not the school one, okay? The normal ghar wala belt, like we wear with jeans. So every hole is a notch in that belt, okay? So notch up something means to basically, essentially it would be to tie the belt tighter. But in English, to notch up means to raise the level, okay? To level up, okay? So they notched up, that means they achieved. Notch up is seen as a kind of achievement, okay? They notched up 2 of the finest victories for the Indian Army. After the war, as the battalion requested for a UN mission. So UN mission is basically Indian Army in India as a whole. You know, we are a part of United Nations, right? So United Nations is a collaboration of a lot of nations, okay? It has a lot of things that is peace, and it works towards peace between countries and a lot of other things. It was established after World War. So there are no more world wars. The entire world was fighting, apparently. I'm just kidding. Some countries, huge amount of countries were fighting, okay? So they requested for a UN mission. So India sends some of its unit abroad, okay? They stay there for some time and they help out people there in that particular country also, okay? So why did they request for UN mission? Because UN mission means you get a higher salary. So all the soldiers and all the officers, they benefit a lot from it. Thus, it's a very different experience. Not a lot of people are allowed to go for a UN mission. So it's a special thing, okay? So they wanted to go for UN mission, and the army headquarters, they sent them to Sierra Leone, okay, which is a place in West Africa. There too, they had performed very successfully and they carried out a major rescue operation, which was an operation named Operation Khurki. Okay, that ends our chapter. So, what did you guys think about it? Did you guys understand the entire story, the entire report that he has written? Yes? I can't see anybody. Can everyone try turning their videos on so that I can see more people? I'm waiting for you to turn your videos on. Rinki, Sneha, Diksha, Shahnaz. I have not seen Shahnaz in such a long time. Shahnaz, can you hear me?
Didi, actually something went in my eye, so that's why the water is coming. So that's why I was washing my face.
No issues, love. You can take your time and turning the camera on. Shahnaz, can you hear me?
Yes, Didi. Hi. Good
I have
evening.
not seen your face in so long. All right. So, Sangeeta and Achal got late today. Sangeeta, can you hear me? Okay, I don't think they can hear me yet. All right. So, how was the chapter? Did you guys get the entire story?
Yes, Didi.
Yes?
Didi, I feel I watched the Sirsa movie.
You watched the Shersha movie or you feel like you watched it?
I feel.
Lovely. Yes, he's written a very brilliant report. You almost feel like you were there, watching the whole thing happen. Do we have any doubts? Let's take a quick look at our picture, finally revise it now that I have the picture open. And then we will move on. I think we move on to our next chapter. Okay. So this is Tiger Hill. Okay. This is the southern spur. This actually, so south se opposite kya hoga? North. So this is the north. Actually, ye north hoga because the directions are all flat in the map. This is the western one, the one that we were talking about, the one that was captured towards the very end, the western ridge. Okay. So this was the most difficult one. This is, as you can see, Helmet hai, India Gate hai. These are the places that we were talking about. Okay, Tiger Hills, Tiger Hill. Okay, if you search Tiger Hills, apparently that's a different place altogether. So this is Tiger Hill, not S. Okay, no S. All right. So this is what we were working towards. Now this, as you can see, this is a huge climb. They started off somewhere around here. They climbed almost as, something that was as steep as climbing onto a wall. So they climbed all of this, reached here, captured this, but capturing this whole thing was taking much longer. Okay. You can defeat a few people who were just on the top, but the entire, the entire discourse of the mountain had people employed. So then we defeated, them in shift slowly and steadily. And then we could finally capture the entire location again. Okay. See, they've also written in this diagram, 8 Sikh interposing action on the west ridge of Tiger Hill on 5th July. So there are a lot of diagrams explaining this. Okay. Lovely. Do we have any doubts? Does anybody want to know anything more about this?
Didi, when you are going to teach grammar part?
Yes, so from the next class onwards, as I told you, I'll send you a Google form. I want to know what grammar concepts you guys want to work on. So we'll take a poll from the entire class and whatever the maximum number of people want to learn, we'll start with that. Of course, we'll cover everything, but we'll start someplace which is, something that everyone wants to study. Okay. I know grammar is coming in your examinations. When are your exams, by the way?
Didi, they have not told yet.
They have not told you guys
Mine
yet?
was from ending of January.
The end of January. Okay, that's very close.
Didi, my first semester is end.
Jan end? Or your first sem exams have already finished?
खत्म हो गया. First semester खत्म हो गया और second semester अप्रैल में बोल रहे हैं. अप्रैल के starting में.
All right. So those of you who've already finished with your exams, do this, send a picture of if you have the question paper or like the general thing that came for your exam on the group. And for all of your upcoming exams, try putting it up at least on the group. We can see Dilda's brother. Hi. So you can try putting in your syllabus at the group, okay? Because a lot of you guys are from different colleges. We try going with the Mumbai University syllabus. But as you would have observed, your college does a few things differently, right? So we'll try and cover that part before your exams happen, okay? So let us know, or or text me if you don't feel comfortable texting on the group. Let me know. So I'll try and figure that part out for you, okay? And we've been having classes before also. So your Didis and Bhaiyas, their classes are also there, and some of them are there on YouTube. So if not the whole thing if the whole thing cannot be taught in a class, I'll share that part with you. Okay, so you can watch that and learn from that also. Okay, sounds cool?
Okay, Didi. Yes.
Perfect. So I think we can end 10 minutes early for today. I don't want to start another chapter. We will start drama because I feel like we can do a little bit of drama before we do more chapters, right? Is it becoming easier for you to read and understand things? Have you tried going back and reading some of the chapters that we've read together?
I
Okay.
will.
You have? Okay, you will. I like that promise. Try going back and reading some of the chapters that you've done in class, okay? You'll realize that aapko samajh mein aa raha hai thoda thoda. I'm not saying 100% aana chahiye, but that's why you have your reference. That's why I've sent you a couple of notes on the group also. Go through them, try reading things on your own, okay? I'm a firm believer is when you read, you learn, okay? So try reading, go and revise some of the things that have been taught. And in the meanwhile, we'll do a little bit of grammar in the class, okay? I think in the next 15-20 minutes, I'll send you the Google form. Fill that out, and then we'll start with our grammar topics, okay? Anything else that you guys specifically want to study?
Didi, why you don't teach economics, political science?
Well, we do teach some of that through Create classes, right? Do you know about Create classes, Neha?
Didi, I know, but why you have not taken?
Why do we don't okay, I don't teach economics because I don't know economics. I do know psychology and I know English literature. I'm an English literature student only. But I know a little bit of psychology and a little bit of philosophy. But that philosophy you wouldn't have right now because it's a degree college subject. So if anybody has doubts in psychology, you can ask me. But sadly, that's what I am an expert in. Any other questions? All right. I will see you guys coming Thursday. We'll start with grammar. We'll do a little bit of grammar. All right. And then we'll try and figure it out from there. Okay. If you have your exams, let me know beforehand so that I can help you before your exam. Okay.
Okay, Didi.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye, guys. I love you. Have a great day. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Didi. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Bye, Didi. Thank you.
Thank you.